All right, we're going to get started. Good morning. How's everyone feeling? How many went karaokeing last night? Y'all, I had too much fun. Way too much fun. I danced my little tootie off. So we're going to get intimate. I'm going to sit today because I didn't follow my rules, my 2-drink minimum, or maximum, actually. Sorry. Yeah, I actually reversed it and did a 2-drink minimum. But you guys were so much fun. I had so much fun with everyone that came and got to chat. Where's Wendy? Girlfriend, you got some dance moves. I was like, yes, let's get it. It was so much fun. So thank you guys for coming to dinner. And I'm so giggity because I just can't believe. I was like, oh, let's just make a reservation for 10. No one's going to want to come. Y'all showed up. I was like, yes, that was so much fun. And then some people wasn't able to sit down. So next time, I'm going to be prepared, guys. Next time, I'll be prepared. So I just want to thank you all that came out. Thank you all for doing karaoke with us. And it was fun times. Nicole, homegirl, can sing. I was like, you better get it, girlfriend. So yes, we had a fun time. If you guys missed it, we'll round 2 next time, okay? But today we're going to get started with some new skills. We're going to talk about the science and all the things that I promised you guys today. I want to start off with the leadership survey. But before I do, I want to confirm, did everyone get the email with the job descriptions? Okay. Did you check your spam? Because a lot of people... Okay. Well, I know some people, it was in their spam folder. So if you guys didn't get it, just check that. Or Nicole, she's sitting out front. Just run and go grab her and she can get that emailed over to you, okay? It's going to be important as we talk about delegation and all the things that we talked about as far as what your day-to-day looked like, okay? So how many of you, when you sent the email for the leadership survey, cringed and was worried about what your team members was going to say? It's okay. Only one person was like, oh, they're all going to laugh at me. Okay, just 2 people? Well, I have to say I was really impressed by the survey. I was really impressed by what your team members had to say about your practice. And I just want to give everyone a shout out for all the amazing things that you and your practice is doing because your team members really do believe in you. There's literally one comment when it asked, what is one thing you can change about your practice? Someone said, more coffee. When that's your biggest problem, y'all are doing something right. So let's get into it. So the first question we had here, and I'm going to actually turn around so I can look at this. So the first thing we had was the leaders in my practice actively listen and try to understand my perspective and needs. Notice that, 75 people said absolutely. 20 or 17 people said sometimes. No one said never. No one. So that means that you guys are actively listening to your team members. The ones that fill this out, those rock stars, they really do believe in you guys. And that was amazing. So shouts out to you guys. Yeah, that was good. Leaders in my practice take ownership of their mistakes. Absolutely. 65 people said yes to that. Sometimes we had 27, 26 people say that. And so for numbers wise, 90, when I actually did this, I think it was 96 people filled this out. So those are really good numbers, guys. Really great numbers. Leaders in my practice strive to create a supportive and healthy work environment where I feel empowered, safe, and valued. That question, you'll be surprised at how often I go into practices and majority of it's never. And it's really tough for me to go in and see people that says never because that means that they're just not comfortable in the workplace. They don't feel heard. They don't feel as if maybe the culture is really toxic. No one said never here. That's pretty good. Oh my God, I'm so proud of you guys. Leaders in my practice genuinely believe in the teamwork and collaboration. 82 said absolutely, sometimes 10. That's awesome. Leaders in my practice invest in my professional growth, allowing me to meet my full potential. That was at 76 for absolutely and 17, 18 for sometime. How would you rate communication from leaders in your practice? We did have someone say a 1, but majority of it was 4. So that means that, hey, there's room for improvement, right? How would you rate your team culture? 4 was the leading running here, but when it comes to team culture, some people did say 1 or 2. So that goes back to there may just be 1 or 2 people who maybe it's miscommunication. Maybe they don't have clear defined roles. And we're going to get into some of the comments here in a bit. How would you rate your office systems and processes? Now, for all of you in here, I discovered that majority of you, minus like 4 people, are our people. So this question, I was like, it better be high. It better have some great results, and it did. So we do have a couple that was 1, a few that was 2, but majority of it was a 4. Again, you're seeing 4s across the board because there's always room for improvement. This is where we can now start as leaders, make those small tweaks so that we can get to a 5. All right, if you could change one thing in your office, what would it be? So, communication. We need to communicate front staff with back staff. We need to have employees who come to work every day. We need everyone to be at the same standards. We believe some can do things and others can't. We need everyone, even managers, to follow rules. So those are the people that probably put a 4, because I think it was this office here who was saying, or I don't think she's here, but you know how she was saying about the cancellation policy. Some people follow it and some people don't. Well, that's probably what this response is here, is because maybe there are systems that you guys put in place and it's not being communicated across the board. So yesterday we talked a lot about if you're changing insurance protocol, for example, right? Everybody in the practice needs to know what that new protocol is. Everyone in the practice should have some form. So in morning huddle, hey guys, here's a new change. Buildup's not being covered because of 50% of the tooth isn't missing or 30% of the tooth structure isn't missing. Here's what we need from you guys. That's how you guys communicate and bridge that gap between the front and the back. And we'll talk more about that. Communication and input. Like most recent, the schedule change, it would have been nice if we were told about it and was given the reason why we were doing it and a chance to give our input so that we might have made the transition better. There was more to this comment here. It was really long, but essentially I just took the good parts out of this. And essentially what this is going back to, I think again, this young lady here, she was full of sharing. She talked about the block scheduling and how she was utilizing Flex and she put in those blocks. Well, I'm only going to use that as an example. I don't know if this was her practice, but if she did that and didn't communicate or collaborate with her team members or get with her hygiene or whomever to help build those blocks, this is probably what this is. Again, it's collaborating, it's empowering, it's inspiring. You guys don't have to make these decisions alone. Let's sit in a group and let's chat as a team of how we can build and create these processes. The increase in phone calls, some help with the phones, more communication between the front and the back. Again, yesterday I talked about this. This is a continuous problem that we have. Is it always feels like it's the front versus the back. The front knows everything about the practice. The back is just there as the workhorses. And essentially that's how our assistants feel. That's how our hygiene team feels. And hygiene is a completely different beast because truly the hygienist isn't treated as a provider in the practice. They're not seen as a provider when ultimately they are a provider. They deserve that respect in some sense. And so if we're treating them like workhorses and not like part of the team, we're going to have that front versus back. If I could change one thing in the practice, it would be better communication skills between the front and the back. So majority of the comments was front versus back. And I want to really talk about that a bit more as we start to go into the science, as we start to go into delegation, as we start to go in what it means to have an effective meeting, because this is what your back office, I'm assuming the back office team probably filled this out, or I could be wrong. It could be front. I'm not really sure. Again, we left it anonymous. Actually, I would know because they put their position in, so I can go in. If you guys actually want the results from your practice, please let me know. I can put that together. I will deduct the names from it, mainly because I put on the email that we can keep this confidential. They won't know who filled it out. That way they feel more comfortable being able to communicate in this way. But if you do want a copy, let me know and I can make sure that we get you your office results. If you could change one thing about your practice, we have a lot of good word of mouth processes. Notice that. We have a lot of good word of mouth processes. So this means that someone's going to practice. Ooh, good job out there. That means that someone is, hey, this is what we're doing. They're talking to just you, right? We're going to do a new patient special. We're going to do a special on crowns. You're the front office. You're the treatment coordinator. You know this, but no one else in the office knows this. So word of mouth processes is only you and I know, but we didn't create a process for that. We didn't talk about the script. We didn't talk about how we're going to promote this. We didn't talk about what does that mean if they have insurance versus don't have insurance. None of this was discussed, and so now someone feels out of the loop. I would just recommend putting them in writing. Also put on a shared drive, centralized location so everyone can reference them without contacting someone who is off from work. So we talked about that a bit yesterday, right? If Susie or if Janet goes on her 7-day cruise, who's filling in for Janet? Who's filling in for the office manager? So that was a really good comment. I think we should follow stricter HIPAA regulations, which that's a good one too. I know it's the boring stuff, but we have to make sure monthly we're going through those processes. We're making sure that we're walking through the offices and our fire extinguishers, is up to date. If you guys aren't doing that, we have to make sure we're doing those things. Again, it's boring. Go to your fire department. They can come in. Usually it's actually cheaper if you go through like your local police station or fire department, have someone come in. It's like $75 versus if you hire a big company like Cedar or something like that to come in and do some OSHA, HIPAA, first aid training. So I would recommend maybe checking with your fire department for more first aid, CPR, those type of things. And then for HIPAA, there are a few companies out there that can help you guys come in once a year to do instructions. One of the gals was actually telling me that they had a patient pass out and no one knew what to do. So it is important to make sure that you guys are keeping up with your HIPAA regulations. I would like to have more routine processes in place for guiding patients through their treatment plans. I would like to improve communication for increased treatment plans and acceptance. I think we need a better process with helping patient finance larger treatment plans. That's a really good one, because that means that maybe they're seeing that they're presenting big cases and maybe we need to offer one, maybe it's flex. Maybe we need to have something that's super easy to present where on an iPad, they can go through it. You can then present your treatment plan, have the patient sign it and keep it moving, or email or text the patient that treatment plan. Maybe we need to offer some financing options like Sumbit. I think that's what Amy had said yesterday. That was actually a really good one. Maybe offering some more of these things so that they can really increase those case acceptance and those treatment plan presentations. So that was a really good comment. How about 2 clear definitions of job duties among the admin staff and to help the leaders hold others accountable? That one is a good one. If you do not have clear and defined roles in your practice, if you're not setting clear expectations of what everyone is doing in the practice, you're going to have continuous miscommunications. You're going to have the front versus back. Bless you. Okay, so I wanted to go through, let's see. The next one was, what do you like most about your position? Working with the patients, being able to help not only patients on a daily basis, but also getting a chance to help grow people, and create a great work environment for my team. Family-oriented practice. I love working with the kids, making them feel comfortable having their teeth clean. I have worked for several offices. This is another comment. I have worked for several offices in my career, and this office culture by far is the best. Everyone is a hard worker. There is a little drama amongst the team, but overall, a really great office to work for. So that should make everyone in here feel good about what they're doing. And a lot of the comments, the good stuff was centered around that independence and trust from the doctor and OM. What I like most about my job is the incredible work environment. When I come to work, I know that I will enjoy being around my coworkers. I don't even know who this is, but I want to come work for you. Enjoy being around my coworkers, and that it is okay to have fun while we work. Whoever office that is, kudos to you guys, because that is really difficult to find. That is really hard to find where you feel good about coming into work. So whatever you guys are doing, keep it up. I love the people I can help bring. I love the people I can help bring a smile to their face. It makes me happy to get to know them and to help them reach their goals. I get a rush when I can fill the schedule with great production so this company thrives. Love coming in every day. Well, that was a good one too. Working with the doc and being able to help everyone in any way. I enjoy assisting the patients most of the time. I like people I work with in that the office uses new technology. And then they put in parentheses, iTero. Guys, those are really good comments. That lets me know that that is a healthy work environment. That is a healthy office culture. And the good stuff just kept going with more about I like working with my team. I like working with my doctors. Someone also said they like that the autonomy, the freedom to make my own decisions, educated decisions. So that's awesome. That means that someone in the leaders in the practice are empowering their team members. They're giving them the tools so that they can be successful within their practice. And that is awesome. So I just want to give you guys a round of applause because I do go into practices, and I have to say that there are surveys that I get that are not like this. And so you guys are doing something right. And I just want you guys to know that. Like, you should know, if you guys don't have a survey like this, I know Tenori, actually, your team, you guys do something like this, right? Where Tenori would send out a survey. Is it once a quarter or once a year? Twice a year. So they do a survey. They send it out to their entire team, something similar to this, I think, where he gets the feedback. And it's important for him to know, and the leaders to know in the practice, what is my team members saying about us? What are they saying when we're not in the room? What is my executive and leadership presence to my team? And with these comments, that means that you guys have a positive impact on your team members. And as much as I know everyone in this room, we sometimes think that, oh my goodness, my job is so hard. No one listens to me. Why do I have to constantly repeat myself? Why do I feel like I have 51 kids and I am single, not married, with no kids, right? But with these comments, with what your team members are saying, what you're doing is right. What you're doing, just keep it up. And I kind of don't want to talk anymore because I'm like, they don't need help. They got this. But we'll keep going, I promise. So in this next exercise, I want to talk about order versus chaos. So I want us to focus a little bit on some of the challenges that your team member said. And when I read this, I really wanted to focus on the front versus back, because a lot of those challenges, as you guys saw as far as communication, that was everyone's biggest challenge when I read through all the different practices, is communication. It's one person holds the keys to the castle, and when that person's gone, things tend to fall apart. And so I know a lot of us yesterday, we talked about wanting to get more systems. We're trying to implement more inside of our practice. So that's what I stayed up really late redoing everything so that we can focus on those, because I really do think that from those comments, I can potentially give you guys the tools to help. So in this next slide here, it's called order versus chaos. Now we all know we will have a perfect schedule. We're scheduled to goal. Everyone's going to show up to work on Monday. It's going to be a great day. Both my providers are in. We're finally fully staffed. My favorite patient is coming in. It's the perfect schedule. It's Monday morning. Now, 9 o'clock on Sunday happens and all chaos. And so what I want us to do is, I think it's pretty even at the table. So AV team, this is going to be more of an exercise here. But what I'm going to do is, can we break up just a bit where it's even? Because I'm going to need one person to be order, the other person to be chaos. Yeah, it's going to get real. So if you can break up find a partner. You're going to be in groups of 2. One person's going to be order, the other person's going to be chaos. The order is Sunday or Friday, you left work, you have the perfect schedule. And then chaos, I want you to go in and just mess everything up. And the goal here, order, is you're going to have to figure out how to still have a good day. Once you guys come up with your game plan, chaos has given you your mess, your hot mess. Order, you're going to stand up and you're going to present how you're going to fix the chaos. Does that sound good? No? She said, no, please help me. All right. Any questions on that? Questions? Okay. All right. Let's break up. So again, the scenario is Friday you left. You're scheduled to gold. You're fully staffed. It's a perfect day. You're really jazzed up for your Monday morning. But Sunday, chaos just stepped in and just messed up your entire flow. So let's talk about the perfect schedule. Go. Let's give it 10 minutes. 10 minutes.